Hey guys, I've added reblog quote posting. So like you can quote reblog something. So let's say I do that and then this is a reblog. You can see that it is now working for Gibber, our federated social network they're building. Subscribe for progress. But you can also, like I showed you yesterday, just reblog something. And you can also undo a reblog and so on. Let's go into how I actually implemented this. So we want to know when to open this little post thing, right? And this can be put anywhere in the app. Like in the future, if we look at our design, it'll be put in this area. So if you click this edit button or post button, then this post modal will show up in the future. So this needs to be able to be done in multiple places in the app. So we're using global state management. To do that, we're using Jotai, which is just a very simple way to do things and allows you to basically like use state but in a global way. So we have to set these atoms, and we set two atoms. Create post atom, which is a Boolean true or false, and reblog post atom, which is just a post ID or it's undefined. And if the person clicks that button and then, like let's say we look in the index. So when the person clicks the button, we use the create post atom, and then we can set the create post from that. And then we actually set it to true when the person clicks the button. And the thing that gets rendered is this create modal. And this is rendered in the app.tsx. So if you look down here, it's just rendered from right here. But when that variable, that atom, is set to true, then we open the modal. And then when we want to close the modal, we just set it to false and set the reblog post to also be undefined. And we render the create post component after that. And we just pass along those two variables. If we actually look into that component, you can see it's just the form like I've gone in other videos, but we've made some changes. I've made some changes. It's one change is we get the reblog ID that's been passed in, and we do a fetch with React query. In this case, we're using tRPC, but basically the same thing. And we just pass along that reblog ID to actually fetch that post. And we only do that if we pass along a reblog ID, because not all the time you might want to reblog something. Like with this, we haven't reblogged anything. So it's only enabled when that's passed in. And then the other thing is we just pass along that reblog ID to the mutation. And the mutation that gets run is in the post router. That is the create mutation right here. And when we create the post, we just set the reblog ID on it. Now, when the person actually creates the reblog with a content, we want to render that differently than if the person has nothing as the content. Because if the person has nothing as the content, that just means they're reblogging it, right? Just normal, like this, that has no content. So we'll want to render that differently. And if we go into the post component in the post index, right here, you can see that we check if the reblog has been set and the post content is null. What that means is that we want to render it like a reblog like this, where we want this text like Monroe Programs reblogged. And so we pass in this reblogger. And when we pass in the reblogger, this post component renders itself again, basically. And then it sees that this reblogger has been set and it adds that text. But let's say we do have content, then this if statement will get passed. And then we go down and we render the post preview, which is somewhere in here. It's right here. So if the post has a reblog, then we want to render that reblog as a post preview, which is just basically a border with the content and the profile and the avatar, that sort of stuff. And that's down here. And this simple component just renders, like I said, all that sort of stuff. So let me think of anything else I need to cover. I think that's about it. It's fairly easy to add, so subscribe for more things to add. I probably need to add comments next and replies, that sort of stuff. So thank you for watching.